Well, hello. Welcome to me and my Wii, where we're going to spend 45 plus minutes looking at another game from my Wii collection. Today, we're looking at Okami. So, Okami is one of those games where when it came out, I was fucking obsessed with it and made my whole personality around it, even though I didn't really beat it. I was already like a tier 2 kind of nerd, so I liked anime and all of that stuff, but it just kind of like pushed my love for like Japanese like folklore and all of that stuff, and it just had me like super infatuated with the company and like in my teens-ish era when it came out. To the point where I even got a tattoo from the game, this one. So needless to say, I love this game a ton. But there's a lot more to this game than just swinging your chain around and slapping baddies in the butt and our little comedy relief cricket man, so let's dive into it. So as a quick note, since this game was developed in Japan, I will be referring to people at first by their given name and then their family name. So in the West, we would see that as like Jane Smith. But then after that, I'm just going to be referring to them by their family name and then the word san at the end, just out of respect. So if you don't know what san means, it's pretty much just a gender neutral way in Japanese that people say like Mr. or Mrs. or whatever. So I don't want to be rude, you know. Now, even though the game that we're going to be covering today is a Wii title, it actually originally came out as a PlayStation 2 title and then was ported over to the Wii. It was ported by a different company, but the game was actually developed by Clover Studio, who you might know as the makers of Beautiful Joe and God Hand, and it was published by Capcom. Now, Okami started off development in a really interesting way, I feel like, at least. It was kind of a mishmash of a few different ideas. So according to the lead designer, Hideki Kamiya, originally the game was built around depicting a lot of nature, but it didn't really have a core theme or concept aside from that. Now, it isn't like Kamiya-san didn't know how to string a game together or anything. This dude directed Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry, for crying out loud. Like, he knows what's going on. So to kind of get his idea across of what he wanted to kind of start doing, he actually created a minute-long visual demonstration of a wolf running through a forest with flowers blooming after it as it's running. While it's super visually appealing and beautiful, it very much lacked anything in the gameplay department, so that kind of led to Kamiya-san speaking that it was incredibly boring to play it. But he set that thought aside whenever he was speaking of the game to the game's producer Atsushi Inaba. So after they worked on the minute-long video trailer together, Kamiya-san told Inaba-san, "See, isn't this neat?" So while internally, Kamiya-san was struggling with the game, stating, "I was grinding my teeth at night. I was so worried. At one point, we were so far off track that it had turned into a simulation game where you had hexes and trees sprouted on them. It was total garbage." Work continued on the game though, and eventually it began to bloom. One of the most obviously striking things about this game is the beautiful ukiyo-e style that the game uses. For a little bit more info on ukiyo-e, it's a style of art in Japan that was really popular from about the 17th to the 19th century, with the earliest piece of art coming from 1670s. Here's a couple examples of this art style that I think you'll probably know really well if you're an Animal Crossing player or if you took pretty much any art history class before. So originally, they kind of planned for Okami to be a little bit more 3D photorealistic stylized, but Clover Studio surmised that the ukiyo-e art style better lended itself to Amaterasu's connection with nature and restoring it. And the PS2 really wasn't able to handle the 3D photorealistic style so well, so made it a little bit easier to change. So if you are interested in the art of this game at all, I highly suggest checking out the Okami official complete works by Capcom from it. It's not too expensive, I feel like. I found it for about $30 on Amazon USD. But if you're a fan of Okami at all like I am, the art is just incredible. It's so nice to have something where you can look at the concept art, the character art, lore explanations, marketing materials. It's even got some sheet music in it. It's so good. Cannot suggest enough picking this bad boy up. So coming off of the art, the music is just another huge piece that just is so amazing and just makes everything about Okami just incredible. All of the music in the game is inspired by traditional like Japanese music, just like the art and pretty much everything in the game. So the music was produced by the record label Serubuta, who works on tons of Capcom games like Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, Street Fighter, tons of them. Hell, the soundtrack was so good that Okami won Best Score at the 2007 BAFTA Video Games Awards. I've never heard of this award show before. I was gonna call it BAFTA, but I don't know. Apparently it's the British Academy Games Awards. I don't know what that is. Why did this not win more awards? This music is incredible. Anyway. The game also did get, though, the Artistic Achievement Award at that same event, which that's exciting. So the company Serubuta also produced a 5-disc official soundtrack for Okami on May 31st, 2005. Only in Japan, though. Look at it. Look at how incredible this is. I need it. I mean, you can still listen for all of the songs on YouTube for pretty high quality for free, but I still want this. But they also released another album on March 30th, 2007 of piano renditions of 10 of the songs from the game, which, based on their website, was only released in Japan as well. So I did find it on Amazon Japan, though, for kind of cheap, so that's exciting. Okay, so the art's incredible, the music's incredible, got it. But what even makes this game good? Like, art and music alone does not make game. Like, we've had games with great soundtracks that are just terrible. I'm looking at you, Silent Hill 4. I know that's controversial. So let's dive into the actual gameplay. Now, as a note, I'm not going to be going through like spoilers or anything, mostly just giving you like the high notes of the development process and things that I found kind of interesting. So I feel like the best place to start is what actually inspired the gameplay of this game. So Inabe-san stated, once we fixed ourselves on a graphical style and got down to the brushwork, we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could just somehow get the player involved and participate in this artwork instead of just watching it? That's how the idea of the celestial brush was formed. So with that nailed down, we need to focus a little bit more on our protagonist. Now, I hear you asking. If you're not, you're asking now. Why a wolf? Why? Like, I mean, they're badass at all. Like, look, ladies, check out my 3-wolf moon shirt. But like, why? So the game's actual title is Okami, right? Well, Okami in Japanese actually means wolf, but fun pun time. Now, the word God in Japanese is kami. So to show respect, sometimes in Japanese you'll add the honorific o before things. So in this case, you add o before kami. Depending on situations, though, you can also hear things like kami-sama and stuff like that. We're not getting into the weeds of linguistics. So that means it's pretty much just been a pun all along in Japanese. The same characters for Okami written on the actual case itself and everything in Japan are used in Amaterasu's full name, Amaterasu Okami. So the full name for Amaterasu looks like this in kanji. So moving away from our Japanese lesson, Amaterasu is actually a real person. Well, I mean, within the Shinto religion. She is the sun goddess and is actually where the Japanese imperial family claims to have descended from. So she was placed in charge of the Takamagahara, or high celestial plane, after her father Izanagi, after he gave her a sick-ass necklace. Now, the actual story of Amaterasu from Shinto and Amaterasu from the game are vary pretty greatly. I'm not going to bore you with a whole Shinto lesson or anything right now, so we'll just focus on the game story side of it. Now, we don't have an exact timeline of when the game Okami takes place. It does take place during the Edo period in Japan, which is from about 1603 until about 1868. So before the story that we're actually playing through occurs in the game, we're actually introduced to a little cutscene that kind of sets everything up for us and explains it to us. So we get to see how Shiranui, which, quick tangent to explain that, it's a Japanese term that actually refers to the optical phenomenon that occurs when moving and changing flames appear on the horizon of the Irakai and Yatsushiro Sea in the Kumamoto prefecture. So this was long thought to be caused by yokai. which if you don't know what a yokai is, that's just kind of like a Japanese catch-all term for like ghosts and demons and foul spirits and stuff like that. So we see how Shiranui and Nagi fought an 8-headed dragon called Orochi and saved Kamiki village and Nagi's love, Nami. Now, they don't really kill Orochi, more they just kind of like seal him away so he'll stop bothering people. So after this flashback, we're taken back to current day, where we actually get to see Susanoo, a descendant of Nagi, is messing around, and then he breaks the seal that's holding Orochi back. So seeing that shit's going down, the wood spirit Sakuya calls to Amaterasu, who the villagers know is like a reincarnation of Shiranui, to pretty much come fix this mess. So just for some fun game context, we do meet a whole cast of fun and interesting characters along our journey throughout the whole game in Okami, but I'm just going to talk about a couple of them real quick. The first one being Waka, not this dude, but this dude, and Isun. So Waka wants to fight us like it's 3 a.m. on a Friday night at the Waffle House, and he'll be popping up a ton throughout the story. The other one, Isun, is a traveling artist who's pretty much joining us for content and clout, it seems. So, but he does help. He helps us learn like the brush strokes and stuff like that in a very kind of Navi way. So using our celestial brush, we pretty much go all around the Japanese countryside and start fixing stuff. We start connecting with some old buddies. They give us different techniques and we start fixing everything. So now that we know a little bit more about lore and development and all that fun stuff, how did the game actually do at launch? So it did well, really well. So currently it's at number 21 on Metacritic's list of best PlayStation 2 games ever, which, I mean, I guess this isn't the best list to reference because like Madden, NFL 2002 and 2004 are higher than Metal Gear Solid 3 on this list. You know, I might be biased, it's an opinion and all, but maybe their opinion kind of sucks. But in North America in 2006, it sold more than 200,000 copies. Fun, but quick tangent, it's drama time. So not too long after the game came out, Clover Studios ended up closing. Weird. So people were speculating that Okami and God Hand, because they both kind of came out at that same time, just didn't do so well, so they ended up having to close the studio doors. Nope, not at all. Kamiya-san, Inaba-san, and Shinji Mikami, who you'll recognize from Resident Evil, they all left. So the studio was just kind of fucked without them. So something that I thought was interesting about the release, though, was the localization of it. It was around this time that our red-blooded American ears just wouldn't think that people don't eat jelly-filled donuts for sustenance, and the ghost story dub was a thing. So how are they going to handle this insanely Japanese game in the localization process? Well, they did it incredibly well, in my opinion at least. The localization team translated like 1,500 pages of text just to make sure it made sense to a native English speaker. For elements that wouldn't really make sense to a Western audience, they did just kind of add enough context so that you could kind of understand it, but you also had a jumping off point to be able to look it up if you wanted to. Which I thought was great. Throughout the whole game, they only had to rework one puzzle, and they reworked it in a very small way. There is a puzzle where you're having to run back and forth between a child thinking of designs and this dude trying to sell popular kimonos, and the kid thinks of a design, and you end up having to draw it for this dude. The only one that was a little bit difficult was one of the things that you have to draw is the kanji for 10. It looks like this. It can mean sky or heaven or whatever. This is a very, very low level kanji. Like if you're in the Japanese school system, you learn this insanely early. Everybody knows this kanji. Most of us have never seen this in our lives. We don't know what this is. So to help players that don't understand it, they actually, in her thought bubble, draw it out in the proper stroke order so that you can properly write it to be able to progress through the puzzle. So I thought that was really interesting. I feel like the localization team just did an amazing job. This is a masterclass in how you localize a game. in my opinion. So now that we've covered a little bit more information kind of all around about the game, let's take a quick look at the different versions that they have, because they have a couple of different versions of the game. So the first one that came out was the PlayStation 2 version that we talked about. Obviously the one that we're playing today is the Wii version. And then just kind of as a blanket term, I'm going to say the HD version. This did come out on a few different consoles. You can get it on like PC, PS3. I have the PS4 one. This is the Japanese version. So there was also, though, fun stuff, a couple of spin-offs from it. So for an actual game, we do have Okami Den, which I don't want to get too far into this. I can whenever I'm able to capture my 3DS, but I highly suggest checking this out. It's really fun. It's really cute. Love it. But something else that I don't really see talked about much was there was a little 8-bit game and a whole marketing thing called the Okami Retro Festival. That's what the wiki calls it. If you look at the actual like whole thing though, the 8-bit game itself on the screen is just called Retro Series. So I tried to access this on Capcom's website and it just was 404. But I was able to get it to play through Flashpoint, so we can still look at it. Okay, so this is the Okami Retro Festival. As you can tell, it's all in Japanese. It was pretty much just marketing in Japan for it, so obviously it would be. But it's still really cool. There's a lot of really cool things that you can kind of see and poke around here in. I'm not gonna get like too far into it because I feel like this could be a small little video on its own, deep diving into this. So if you want me to make that video, please let me know. But pretty much the main thing that I wanted us to look at for this was the Okami Retro Series game that they have right here. So let's check that out real fast. I'm not gonna go super deep into it. I just kind of wanted to take a quick peek at it with you just for a little bit of context, but it's really cute. And I feel like they did a pretty good job with it. It's definitely hitting me in like the NES kind of vibes. But I mean, you can see that there's like tons of characters from the actual game here and everything. So we can talk to them. We can get a little bit more information about like life on, not really island. It looks like an island in this, so I'm gonna call it an island. But you know what I mean. There's also, so we can kind of like look around and see the whole different town and everything. So it's really cool. There's Susano and a little character. It's so cute. Love that. And then they also do have 3 mini games on here too that I thought was kind of cool. This one's a rhythm mini game. So if we start it, I'm not good at it. I have played it a little bit to try to figure out how you're supposed to do it. You can kind of see that like as you get it right, it blooms like a little flower for you. If you get it wrong, then it just tells you like, no, you did it wrong. I'll get one wrong so that you can see it real fast. You're kind of doing it in time. So it's like, yo, you want to try again? Like that kind of thing. But if we go back, there's 2 other ones. This one's my favorite because it's really easy. It's just a matching game. That's all this one is. So obviously you just want to kind of match everything. You've only got 3 turns to be able to do it. And then as you progress through it, it gives you more of them. So it's just a really simple matching game. And then this one's just like it's, I guess, kind of Fruit Ninja, but with like dudes, you know? So that's pretty much all that is. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep into this actual thing itself, but there is a lot of stuff here, If you want to explore it for yourself on Flashpoint, all I had to do was type in Okami and then Retro Festival came up. I did translate the menu to the best of my ability for you here, so in case you want to poke around, that way you kind of know what you're getting into for each of them. But it's really cool, it's really cute. I feel like it's a cute little time capsule of the time, and it just has a lot of the information from that time as well, from marketing. So I'm glad it's still around and that we can still see it and everything. So let's get back on track. Now that we've looked at all different facets of Okami, let's focus on what we're really here for, the Wii version. So what kind of changed between these two different versions when it was ported? So something that I found really interesting was that Inaba-san was actually really against porting Okami to the Wii, as he didn't really feel the gameplay would translate super duper well. But Capcom, as it does, they were against that at first. And then immediately in 2007 at the UK Gamers Day, they announced that Ready at Dawn would be making a port of it to the Wii. Thanks, Capcom. So Ready at Dawn co-founder Didier Malifant, I'm so sorry, I know I'm saying that all kinds of wrong, stated that aside from the control scheme, the Wii version will be an exact port of the PlayStation 2 version. Well, it ended up getting pushed back a tiny bit, but it ended up releasing in America, Australia, and Europe in 2008, and for some reason released in Japan in 2009. Put a pin in that. We'll be back. So for the changes. Obviously, since it's a different console, we're using different controllers. So for the Wii, we're using the Wiimote and the Nunchuck. On the PlayStation 2, you were using the DualShock controller. But something I found weird is on the Wii, it does not support the Classic controller, which the Classic controller was already out, so that's interesting. Obviously, the way that you're using the Celestial brush is going to change. Since this is motion, you would use your Wii waggle to draw, where on the PlayStation, you would just use the analog sticks to draw with it. The Wii version also outputs in widescreen and supports 480p, which were a pretty big deal at the time. So now some fun stuff. So there's a huge difference with the covers, obviously, between these games. Well, I have an official copy of this. I even have the strategy guide of this officially. Something that you'll find very interesting, though, is that both of mine, near Amaterasu's mouth, have the IGN watermark on them. These are both the official covers from Capcom. So Capcom's said, oopsies, sorry. So you can choose one of these 3 covers, but only if you live in North America, and we'll mail it to you for free as a replacement. Sorry. So that took forever, like literally forever. So to make good on it, Capcom ended up mailing all 3 of them to anybody that filled that out. I was able to find a link to these covers uploaded online on the Wayback Machine. So if you do want to print them or just use them as a sick wallpaper, go ahead. It's down below. But that's an interesting controversy that happened with the Wii version. So one of the biggest changes that just breaks my heart between these 2 versions is the ending video, or the credits. So when you beat the PlayStation 2 version, you see these beautiful credits. This scene has Amaterasu walking along the credits through the changing seasons to this beautiful song. These are the prettiest credits I have ever seen. And I don't think any game could ever beat this. I'll fight you, I'll lose, but you know, the challenge is still there. So something else that you also see in the credits is if you created a seal with Mrs. Seal in a Punktan, then you'll also get to see it in the credits, which is exciting. And then at the end of the credits, we see the Clover Studio logo, and then we step back from our drawing table and we get this. I just love this ending scene so much. It plays on the lighthearted, playful tone throughout the whole game and gives a great message and just makes you feel so good for actually beating the game. This was removed from the Wii version. So this removal was not taken lightly by Kamiya-san, with him stating the staff roles was the omoi, which omoi is a Japanese term that's kind of like a combination of like thoughts and feelings of everyone who worked on the project, put together in a moment of bliss held out just for those who completed the journey. It was a special staff role for a special moment, and now it's gone. All of it. It's incredibly disappointing and sad. So Capcom stated that since the credits were pre-rendered and had the Clover Studio logo in it, and obviously they didn't work on the port, then Capcom didn't have legal use to use their logo, so they had to just take it out. Well, Ditter Melephant, saying it wrong, I'm so sorry, they stated that the Wii version was much bigger than the PlayStation 2 counterpart, so it took up a lot more disk space. It seems that they had a rough time with the port. They stated at one point that they had to like recode the whole game and all kinds of stuff because the game was coded for the PlayStation 2. So because of all of this, they ended up cutting the entire video sequence just to save on space. But because this sequence is cut, it makes Mrs. Seal completely worthless as a character. And then it just removes all the credit from all those people that gave all of that hard work. Like, why? But it gets worse. Hang on. So you remember how I said the Japanese version came out a whole year later than the others? Guess what? It had the credit video in it. I thought it couldn't fit. Huh. So they ended up working a little bit more on the Japanese version of the port than the other versions of it. So apparently based on that, they were able to put more effort into trying to get that to fit and making everything run a little bit smoother and, you know, getting all the kinks out. So that's very interesting, but it still sucks for all the other Wii versions of the port that just don't have it. But now that we know far too much random Okami knowledge, what's the game actually like on the Wii? Let's play it for 45 minutes. So just like Silent Hill, we are playing the official version of the Wii game, but we are going to be playing it on my Wii U instead of on my Wii. It's just easier to plug up and capture and looks better, so we're doing it that way. Okay, so here we are at my Wii. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Such a good channel. Oh, it's so good. I miss the Wii channels. It's so good. Okay. I also do have like a list of terms and stuff like that. So as we're going, I can give you just a little bit more insight because there is a lot of lore in this game. So it's really helpful to be able to like have some of the terms and stuff like that. Obviously, we know not to smack our friends with the celestial bush. So... So I am going to skip this for now because we have to see that when we start a new game. I'm not going to make you sit through it twice. All right, so what options do we actually have for this game? Standard and LCD TV. Okay, that's fine. Everything else is good, so just go ahead back. I do have the HD version as well, and there's a lot of options in that one. So let's jump right into it. I love the little loading thing. It's so cute. Oh, should I read these? Sorry. I'll read to you. A long, long time ago, a tiny hamlet known as Kamiki lay nested in the grove of a proud and beautiful cherry blossoms. I'm awful at reading. I'm so sorry. Each and every tree around the quiet berg was honored as a god. However, the village was not without its dark secrets. Literally not qualified to read to you. So sorry. To satiate the appetite of Orochi, a fearsome cave-dwelling beast, a young maiden was offered as a sacrifice at the annual festival. With a body like a mountain and 8 heads mounted on the necks, the size of a tree trunks, its blood-red eyes alone were said to curse anyone who gazed into them. No one dared disobey the horrific beast. When the night of the sacrifice drew near, a mysterious white wolf appeared outside the village. This wolf, its coat as brilliant as snow, was dubbed Shiranui, and Shiranui was what we were talking about earlier about the optical illusion that they said was caused by yokai. The wolf kept a watchful eye on anyone who ventured outside the village and made a habit of patrolling the Mojave Wasteland, or the streets at night. People assumed the wolf to be a familiar of Orochi. One villager took it upon himself to face the fearsome Shiranui. The warrior, Nagi, attempted many times to challenge the wolf, but his attempts were thwarted by Shiranui's swift movements. Before long, the night of the accursed festival has arrived. A white plumed arrow heralded the coming sacrifice. Piercing the sky, the arrow sunk its shaft squarely into the home of Nami, the village's most beautiful maiden. Nagi, harboring a secret love for Nami, was enraged by this sign. Determined to put an end to Orochi once and for all, Nagi traveled to the beast's cave in place of his beloved. Okay. There is a lot of story in this game. We're not gonna get super far in 45 minutes, I'm gonna be honest. But the story is so good, it's so worth it. The Moon Cave, a place as dark as evil itself, served as Orochi's home. As Nagi stood bravely before the entrance, a beast appeared, eyes glowing crimson upon 8 thrashing necks. Orochi stood tall before him, anxious for another sacrifice. Nagi leapt with incredible grace, swinging his blade valiantly. On and on he sliced, well into the moonless night. But Orochi's hide was like steel. The blade left nary a scratch. Okay. At long last, Nagi, his energy spent from the intense battle, dropped to his knees, fatigued and gasping for breath. He knew he was staring death in the face. It was then that the wolf appeared. As if to protect Nagi, it stood its ground before Orochi. In the darkness of the cave, the wolf's coat shone brilliantly. Alas, it was Shiranui the wolf that had dwelled outside the village. Bearing its fearsome claws, Shiranui leapt towards Orochi. Orochi reared its terrifying heads, readying its fangs for battle. The two beasts struggled wildly, thrashing in the darkness. Alright. I also probably should be way better at saying these Japanese things. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering any of them. I am trying. Oh no. Mysterious and terrifying, the spectacle continued. Shiranui summoned gusts of divine wind to counter Orochi's flames. As Orochi closed in on Shiranui, the sharpened claws glistened. Oh, his sharpened claws glistened. A giant tree suddenly sprouted forth, shielding the wolf. Shiranui. Is it Shiranu or Shiranui? Again, I should be better at this. I studied Japanese for like 3 years. I'm so sorry. fought gallantly to gain the upper hand. However, Orochi, protected by a mystical power, was not easily bested. To be fair, I can barely read English too, so... Shiranui, covered in gashes, majestic coat dyed crimson, stood exhausted before the mighty Orochi. Okay. Orochi saw a chance to strike what would be the final blow, but Shiranui refused to give in. With its last ounce of strength, the majestic wolf gazed heavenward and unleashed a mighty howl. Suddenly, the black clouds overhead dissipated. The light from above glinted off of Nagi's sword as a beacon of hope. Guided by his sword, Nagi, who had been taking shelter in the shadows, stood proudly to face his adversary. Channeling all his strength into his sacred and battered arms, he leapt ferociously towards Orochi, his sword poised high. The golden sword danced in his hands like a puppet on a string. One by one, Orochi's fearsome heads separated from their owner. Orochi's broken body collapsed in a lake of its own blood. In that instant, the curse that plagued the villagers was lifted. As the battle subsided, the sun shone once again in the sky. Shiranui had succumbed to Orochi's poison and struggled to breathe. Nagi scooped the beast into his arms and returned to Kamiki village. Well, he turned to Kamiki. When they reached the village, Shiranui was no longer moving. The village elder gently stroked the wolf's head. In response, Shiranui let out a hoarse and pitiful bark, then closed his eyes and drifted off as if into slumber. It's so sad. Peace had at last returned to Kamiki village. In honor of Shiranui's heroic exploits, the villagers erected a shrine and placed a statue of the wolf within it. Nagi's sword was christened Tsukuyomi. So Tsukuyomi is actually the Shinto god of the moon, and that's Amaterasu's brother. So fun. And placed inside the moon cave. Villagers all looked forward to an age of endless peace. Uh-oh. You know it ain't why we're here, though. However, this is not the end of this story. Told you. There is more to this tale than most people know. 100 years have passed since Nagi and Shiranui's heroic exploits. It happened so quickly that no one in the village even took notice. Uh-oh. What's you doing, my man? Is this the legendary sword? Is this Tsukuyomi, the sword that banished the dreaded Orochi? No, couldn't be. It's just a legend. Nothing but a fairy tale. You done fucked up, Aaron. Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta do this? This is so sick. Oh, he who seeks power, he who has broken my bonds. Speak the words, I wish darkness unto the world. Utter that prayer unto me and unleash my power. I don't think he's gonna say it. Nope. Off he goes. Why you gotta be like this? Why you gotta do stuff like this? Should've just left it. That was so cool. That was so cool. Oh, this game is so cool. There's also a mini game on this scene where if you can time the steps right, you can get demon's teeth. I've never been good at it. A horrible tragedy suddenly swept over the land. However, there was one village that seemed to escape the terrible curse. The tiny settlement of Kamiki, the village, enjoyed the protection of a sacred tree. It is here that the real story begins. Wood Sprite Sakuya. So Sakuya is another like real-ish spirit. So it's shortened from, I'm gonna say this wrong, Konohana Sakuya Hime, or Konohana no Sakuya Hime, who is the goddess affiliated with life, mountains, and blossom, and their symbol is a sakura. So makes sense that they would have the sakura tree. How troublesome. This is just like the ancient prophecy of Doom. Oh shit, you can play Doom on that tree? What has transpired to bring about such calamity? Oh no, not the Fatal Frame flashbacks. We must act quickly. There is no time to lose. My power has diminished over the years I've spent protecting this area. I don't have much time left in this world. Amaterasu. Now is the time. So again, Amaterasu is the sun goddess that we gave info to earlier. We have never needed your power more. Shine your divine light upon this broken and polluted world. Let your heavenly rays become our hope as you guide us all. Hell yeah, brother. Yes! Oh, so good. Okami Amaterasu. Ah, such divine white light, such beauty and grace. The only one capable of such a wondrous spectacle is none other than our mother and the origin of all that is Amaterasu. How delightful. It looks like she's making a stinky. To see that the savior whose brave sacrifice sealed away the evil demon so many years ago has not changed one bit. Seeing you emerge after so many years spent as a statue brings happiness to my heart. Oh, sniff. Mood, honestly. Amaterasu. Gaze above you and take in the condition of the sky. Since your untimely departure from our midst, the world has succumbed to devious and vicious beasts. They have ravaged our fine and bountiful country of Nippon. So Nippon is another way of saying Nihon, which is like, so you can say Japan either of those ways, Nihon or Nippon. Nippon is a little bit more patriotic kind of feeling though, if you ever use it, but I mean, you could say it either way. So fun stuff. But never have circumstances been worse than they are at this very moment. Please use your powers to banish the darkness and punish those who would do us harm. Uh-oh. What's this? Has something stolen its way into my robe? Ho, ho, ho. Oh, he. Phew, what on earth? You again? Hell's bells. Ow, ow, ow. Are you nuts? Boy, for a little thing, you sure make a big fuzz. I was just trying to make the conversation a bit more interesting. That's all. My man. Were you napping in my clothes again, Bug? Ooh, Bug, I told you 1,000 times not to call me that. I'm a wandering artist. The name's Isun. So Isun is another thing that's in Japanese folklore. It's from a story called Isun Boshi, which I've seen it translated as one sun boy or 1 inch boy. Pretty much he's a little dude, wants to be a warrior, falls in love with a princess, slays monsters, and eventually gets to normal size. So fun stuff. I'll show you just how great I am, and it won't be long till you're bowing before my great brush. Oh shit. Well, what do you think? Even cuter than the real thing, no? Damn, dude, she's right there. What the hell? What's with you, furball? You look kind of down in the dumps. Actually, you look kind of familiar. Got it. You look just like that statue of Shiranui. Whoa, what do you think you're doing? You crazy? A handsome guy like me should never be covered in wolf slobber. You'll regret messing with the great Isun. Don't make me use my prize sword Denkomaru against you. So Denkomaru is also from that's the like kind of unofficial name given to like this little needle that is soon turned into their blade in the story. But fun fact, I also saw it in Doraemon. It's different, but it's in Doraemon. What's that growling sound? And why is it so dark anyway? Oh, great god Amaterasu. I've used all the power I have to protect Kamiki Village. Also, fun stuff. Kamiki, the actual kanji itself means divine tree. I couldn't really find any lore relating to that name. I did find a Kamiki whiskey. The kanji's different. I've never tried it. But that kanji means God's breath. So they do have sake in this town. So I don't know. Maybe I don't think that's what they're going for, but interesting nonetheless. The village lives on. Their spirits lie encased in my fruit. Cut it free and the village will be reborn. All right. I trust in you. I know that you will lead us down the right path. Only your awesome power can restore life to the world. You got it. The trees return to normal, huh? That Sakyo girl sure said some weird stuff. Man, you ain't kidding. The villagers' spirits are being kept inside the fruit. That's the fruit. The girl said that if you cut it down, the village will be restored. It's awful high up there, though. If you don't use some kind of special power, there's no way you're gonna reach it. This darkness is really getting to me, too. A lot can happen while you're taking a nap. Okay, fun stuff. So now we actually, almost 25 minutes in. I mean, I was reading everything to you, so that's gonna make it take longer, and I was giving you, like, info, so. Where are we? It's got awful quiet all of a sudden. I don't remember any place like this in the village. Oh, I can speed it up finally. Cool. Well, we better keep our eyes peeled. You can use the control pad to look around. The 2 button changes your point of view. Boy, you really look helpless. You sure you're gonna be okay? Yeah. Okay. So these mirrors are the safe spots right here. Hold on, that's an Origen? Origin? There's no way it's Origen. That has to be Origin, right? Oh God, I don't know if I've seen that written down in English. I'm gonna call it Origin mirror because Origen sounds stupid. They say once your reflection appears on its surface, your memories will be stored in the mirror for all eternity. I don't think my Wii U is gonna last an eternity, my man. Put it shortly, you can save your progress here. And let me give you a little advice. You should save a number of game files. That way you can always go back if you get stuck or something. Gotta be prepared, especially when you're still learning the ropes. Okay. So we can save. What's nice is I don't have to do the like Wii waggle so much right now. I can just use the controls down here. So fun stuff with a mirror. A mirror was actually used to coax Amaterasu out of a cave in Shinto mythology so that she could restore light to the world. So they also have a significance. So that's fun. Look at all them pots just waiting to be broke. I don't think that's why they put them there, man. If you bust them, there might be something good inside. Oh, swing the Wiimote. Okay. Bust them with your head. Okay. Do I have to do it down here? I can do it down here. That's fine. Way to go, my furry friend. You can do that anytime you see something you can break. Okay. So these coins that I'm picking up here, the little like, let's see if I can get a good picture of them. Yeah, I mean, you kind of see them. The little like circle ones with a little square in the middle, those are kind of what the 5 yen, or in Japanese is said like in, coins look like. So 5 yen coins, they're called Goen Dama. Those are typically what they use whenever they're like making wishes, because you've seen them like toss some coins into the little box. Those are the ones that they typically use when making wishes, because Goen is like the same pronunciation as like destiny or like lucky chance encounters, kind of like that. So fun stuff. Again, a lot of thought was put into this. Whoa, hold on there, Furball. Get a load of that. That chest looks mighty tempting. Let's go check it out. Getting up there should be a piece of cake. Should probably read it before I skipped it, huh? Press the A button to jump, then press A again to do a wall jump. Okay. But make sure you press it firmly so you jump real high. I don't know if the Wii has pressure, because I know the PlayStation controller has pressure sensitive, but I don't know if the Wii does. I knew you could do it. They say good luck is found in high places, so keep your eyes peeled but don't want to miss any treasure. All right. Got a bone. Holy bone. Amaterasu's favorite snack restores 3 units of solar energy. So solar energy is the health in this game. Looks like the bridge is out. This shouldn't be so hard. Amaterasu, was it? That's kind of long. Mind if I call you Ami? Listen, Ami, ever heard of the spirits of the brush? Good brushwork has its own soul. At least that's what they say. Just watch. It'd take all day to explain. A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Fancy. Ooh. Nice, huh? Just a little technique I've mastered called rejuvenation. It's one of the many brush strokes that use divine powers. It's a brush god power that can restore broken or missing things. I've practiced really hard just to master this one technique, but there are 13. Each one is a power of one of the 13 brush gods. So they use in this game the kind of like the zodiac, you know, the zodiac animals and stuff like that. They use the East Asian zodiac, and then they added the cat in, which is where the 13 comes from. So the pig's been subbed out for the boar, the sheep for the goat, or there's a sheep in this game instead of a goat, and then obviously Amaterasu's the dog, just so they kind of align more, I guess, with the Japanese view of it. So that's where all 13 come from. Originally, all 13 were a single powerful deity. When the deity died, its power was split into 13 separate gods. The gods now dwell within objects all around us, but God or no God, how could anyone have the power to master all 13? I don't know, I guess we'll find out. I love this, where like you start running and it gets faster. Oh, it looks so cool. All right, so now we get to actually use it. So, what's the draw button? Nope, not the draw button. Is it 2? Or is it 1? No, 1's the map. That's bark. Oh yeah, that's right, I have to go up here to unlock it. Not the master. Rivers of the Heavens. The River of the Heavens. They mean the fabled Stardust River. But I sure don't see anything like that around here. It couldn't be that little puddle over there, could it? I think I gotta go up here to unlock it first. I don't quite remember. Wow, look at the stars twinkle. I haven't seen such a beautiful nighttime sky in ages. Hey, look, are those stars forming a pattern? Or is it just me? There's one missing. Guess I'll just have to draw the missing star. Bah! Looks like I'm just not ready to draw missing stars. Press the B button. Which one's B? This one. Okay. And then hold A to draw. Okay. I sure spent a heck of a lot of time practicing that. Okay. So sick. So sick. So this is Yomigami. So, Gami is another, like, they change pronunciations a little bit, but the kanji for Gami is the same as Kami. So it's just pronounced with a G instead of a K. So same thing. So their name is like Yomi and then Gami, which Yomi is the first, the kanji that they use can be used as a verb, like to resurrect. They also have 2 kids that are in Okamiden. Fun stuff. Well, if it isn't Mother Amaterasu, I apologize for not contacting you sooner during these long years. Having never forgotten you, I, Yomigami, the god of restoration, have eagerly awaited this day when we could again meet. While you were away, the 13 spirits of the brush that you once possessed, including myself, have been scattered across this land of men and now lie in disarray. I became a constellation and managed to survive until now. The time has come for you to seek out and reunite all the techniques. Your power is what is needed to restore the dried riverbed of the heavens and renew the flow of stardust. That kanji is Yomi. So that's the restoration kanji. Which is really cool with all of the, if you were ever curious what any of the kanji says in the game, it's the like first part of their name, dropping the like kami or gami part. So it's really sick. Really cool. I like that. Wow, that was Yomigami, the god of restoration. Wait, so you have the power of rejuvenation now? Can you really use it to restore the river of the heavens? That would mean you were as good with the brush as yours truly. No, couldn't be true. Who else could master this incredible god technique? Okay, well, bet. All right, let's use it. Oops. Okay, yeah, no, I know. Yes, I know. I see. All right. Oops. Oh God, Weewaggle, please. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it from this angle. There's no way. There's no way it's gonna accept this. Did it really accept that? Wow, I'm very surprised. That was an awful angle to do that at. Whoa, a river of stardust. So this really must be the river of the heavens. But what I really want to know is who the heck drew the darn thing? I don't know. So clearly Issun can't see us drawing. Did I not fill it in all the way? So it's not letting me swim all the way? Yeah, that seems about right. Can I do it as I'm swimming, I wonder? Wow, that looks awful. Does that work? Sure does. Oh man, I much prefer drawing with the controller. Honestly, I completely see what he was talking about. Where this does not. I get why they would think it translates, but it's a little cumbersome. It definitely works a lot better with a controller. Oops, I forgot I had to wee-waggle it. Astral pouch. Look what you found, Furball. This astral pouch here is amazing. It can swallow up lots of food. Then when it's full, it can revive its owner if he or she dies. Let's start feeding it whatever food we can find laying around here. Okay, so we got an apple. Nectar-filled sour apple. Okay. Is there any other food? We got peach. Anything else? Oops. Orange. Okay. Is that it? I guess so. Okay. Off we go. All right. All right, let's go. So clearly we need to go up here. It's very slow at the start, but once you start getting like with your running, oh, it's so pretty and it feels so good. Oh man. So if you do play this, while it's not, if you can only play it on the Wii, I get it. I highly suggest checking out the HD version of this. It's on Steam. So that's probably the easiest way to play it for most people. But the controls are pretty tight. Pretty tight and pretty good. They did a really good job, and it's just so beautiful in HD. You consume dumplings. So these are in Japanese called like dango. So dango, again, more meaning. This has to be dango because that's what it looks like pictured, and then doughy balls made from grain, that's what it describes. Dango is actually used as offerings to gods in shrines. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So let's get on in here. Is this a legendary shrine? We must be in the cave of Nagi. The legendary hero Nagi is enshrined here. He vanquished evil 100 years ago with the help of the white wolf Shiranui. First the River of Heavens, and now this place. Where the heck are we, Furball? Boy, this place is a wreck. See, that sword is in really bad shape. The gods sure didn't do much to protect this place. Damn, dude, don't fucking narc on them like that. They're trying their best. Okay. Oh no. Look how awful that crooked ass blade is. I knew it. You can't handle a brush. Now try again. Draw more carefully. You can see how shaky my hand is, though. That looks so bad. That looks so bad. Will you accept that? Thank you. Oh, no. That really was your brushwork all this time. How'd you get so good? Exactly who are you, anyway? Hey, there's another constellation. This one looks like a... question mark? Okay. Oh, come on, that's close enough. Dang it. Man, it's much easier to do. It does not sound like it would be, but it's much easier to do this with a controller. I get why they think that this would work, but it does not work as well. So Tachigami, the same as Yomigami. The Gami is the like god part, and then the kanji that we get from them means to cut. So that's pretty fun. Okay. If it if it isn't Mother Amaterasu. It's been a long time, but with all these monsters around, the only place I could hide was in this shrine dedicated to the ancient heroes. To ancient heroes, not the ancient heroes. If there's anything I can do to assist you in your endeavors, I am at your service. Make good use of this sword. It was designed to conquer evil. He's so little and cute. Yeah, that's the kanji to cut. But also the first kanji of their name, so it's really cool. I really like the way they did that. Hey, that was the god Tachigami. Master of the power slash technique. Wait a minute, if you're getting all these powers, then you're just like that Shiranui. You know, the wolf who fought and died alongside the great Nagi. When Shiranui died, the wolf's power was split into 13 brush gods. This is crazy! Shiranui Nagi? It's just like the legend. Well, anyway, I've never seen this power slash technique myself. How about showing your stuff off on that boulder over there? You about to have the worst lines ever drawn. Let me see you slice it in half by drawing a single line. I won't believe it till I see it. Okay. I told you. You call that a line? Use the brush like a sword. Slice it with a single straight line. Whew. I mean, also, I'm way too close to the sensor bar, but still, it's very difficult, especially with shaky wrist. I didn't think you had it in you, Furball. I'm not even in the same league as you. Guess I really overestimated myself. Hey, Furball, or I mean, Amaterasu, I've made up my mind. If you're Shiranui Reborn, then that means you can master all 13 techniques, right? In that case, I think I'll tag along until I'm as good as you. Lucky you. No. I'm not, heh. It's no use trying to change my mind. There's no stopping me once I've made a decision. But enough about me. Now that you've mastered that power slash, you can cut down that thing Sakuya was talking about. Let's go back and give it a shot. Okay. Let's go cut it back. We have a magical guiding line. Uh-oh. Oh god. Okay. There we go. Okay. You can kind of get Ami started on like running a little bit faster if you rush into it with a wee waggle. Oh, we battling. So you'll see that like all the demons have this like paper over their face. I don't know what that is referring to, because I try to like line them up based on like how like their levels and stuff. It's all in katakana. These have like ed like this, but there's like erohani ho, I think is all of them. I found pictures of a racehorse whenever I was googling that, but that's it. So if you know anything about that, let me know. I don't know what the meaning of those on their faces. Oh, sorry, I didn't read that to you. Well, close enough. Draw first, attack later, am I right? You know that divine instrument you have on your back? Well, swing the Wiimote to use its power against them. Look, Ami, once you've caught them off guard and turned them black and white, they're easy prey for your brush, no matter how nasty they are. Grab your brush and give them a power slash. Okay, I'll do my best. Nope. Oh, God. All right. Let me just beat the tar out of you with my little mirror shield. Okay, you're done. Shit. Okay. Yeah, fighting is a lot better on on the PlayStation. So those little gold coins that I picked up, there's like two of them. One of them has the like symbol for like big, and then the other has the symbol for like small. They used to use gold coins in the Edo period. So what's interesting is in this game, the money's called yen, but in the Japanese version, it's called ryo, RYO. That's what they used to call the like currency back then. Because they used like little gold things. But yeah, there's just one that says like small coin and big coin on it. Which again is still that little of a detail. Like they could have literally just put in whatever, but they decided to go that far into it and like thematically like make sure it like matches up with the time. That's so sick. It's so sick. Because, like, they were, like, little oval gold things back then that they used for money. So, it's so fucking cool. There's just so much thought that goes into all of this. I was going to try to, like, translate all of the kanji around the battlefield and figure that out. And then I was like, you know what? Let's not do it. That's a lot. That's a little bit too much. So, I'm not doing that. That's way too much. Okay. I'm getting awful scores on this. I very much suggest playing it with a controller. The Wii is not the way to go to play this. Okay. Oh God, I drew this so badly. Can I jump through most of it? No. Dang it. I don't know if jumping makes you go any faster, but I'm gonna hope it does. Oh. Okay. Off we go. All right, so we'll go back to town and we'll cut down that peach. This game is insanely long, So we're not gonna get. We're not even out of the tutorial for this. Like where it's still holding your hand kind of thing for this is crazy. It's just nuts. So get prepared to like strap in for a long time if you're playing this, but it's still amazing. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Okay. So let's, oh God. Nope. Finally. Oh, Lord. This is what I'm saying. Playing this on the Wii is not where it's at, in my opinion. It's really cool. It's a cool gimmick, but it's so hard to get it straight. Like aiming this on the DS, it's a lot more comfortable to like draw. So that one makes a lot more sense. But this one, it's so much easier with the controller. It's so much easier. Okay, well, we did that. Once again, congratulations. That was so pretty. It's so pretty. This game is beautiful. Wow, the village has been restored. Sakuya came through big time. She really was protecting the village. But I sure wish I could have spent more time in her kimono, if you know what I mean. My man. Okay. But seriously, with monsters running all around and all, the village could still be in Dagner. Let's go see how they're all doing down there. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's head back down to the village. See what happened. I thought I recorded 45 minutes. I did not. Because I also sped up that portion where it took me like 5 years to be able to cut that. So I figure I'll record a little bit more. Show you a little bit more, just in case. What in the world? What in the goddamn? I don't remember there being a statue here. Well, whatever. Let's go talk to the villagers. Okay. Uh-oh. That's foreboding. Look how pretty this is, though. I mean, I know this is like on the Wii, so it definitely doesn't look as good as it could, but oh my gosh. Oh man, it's still so cool. Sorry. Hey, there's a statue here too. It's like the villagers have turned to stone or something. Not again. That's one of those smaller monsters. That's not one of those smaller monsters that's lurking about. Or like that, it's gotta be something much bigger. Let's hurry up and find somebody with a pulse around here. I don't think we're gonna find nobody. Everybody seems pretty stuck. No good, this one's not moving. Everyone here was perfectly fine just a few hours ago. There's definitely something strange going on around here. The village is back, but what's up with the dark sky? Maybe it's dark outside the village too? Let's find some high ground so we can take a look. Okay. And then we have our mystical... So I do like that, like, obviously there's lots of... There's a ton of like there's stray beads that you can find, there's side quests, you can do training on the side, you can hunt down different monsters and stuff. There's definitely something strange going on. There's tons of stuff you can do in the game, but it's pretty good about telling you like where you need to go. So it's not a game I feel like I get too lost in a lot, and I get very easily lost in games, so that's pretty high praise for a game in my opinion. This is bad. The sun's not even shining. It's as black as night as far as the eye can see. And not a single villager can move a muscle. Is this some kind of curse? Did a monster do this? Did Sephiroth do this? It's not going to stay like this forever, is it? If only the sun were out to light our way. If you could draw a circle in the sky, we'd have ourselves a sun. But I guess that'd be impossible even for a god like you. Maybe we better seek out another god brush god to help. Of course, if you had that kind of power from the start, that'd be a different story. Wow, that is an ugly sun. That kanji that shows up right there is the kanji for like to shine. If you were curious. What the? Come to think of it, your name is Amaterasu, so that's the name of the sun god. So it followed that you had the sunrise technique from the start. With that, you could even turn night into day. Wow, you're no run-of-the-mill god, that's for sure. The flowing brush is like music from the heavens. That's a line from one of my grandfather's poems. He felt a skilled artist was like a musician of shape and color. Since you're such a great artist yourself, why don't we name your brushwork after that poem of his? It's called Celestial Brush. After all, your brush did bring out the sun. Well, I mean, let's go back to the village. We gotta see if the villagers are back to normal now. Okay. Who are you? This is so cute. Village Elder, Mr. Orange. I love like the comedy and the sense of humor in this too. It's so good. A white wolf? Not the one who fought that terrible creature with Nagi. You couldn't possibly be the legendary Shiranui. No, it can't be. That story's 100 years old. Still, you look a lot like that statue of Shiranui. So most people, you'll see, don't see the like crimson on Ami. On the other hand, you don't look quite as smart. Whoa, no need to growl like that. Can you really understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm not one to mince words. I just state the facts. Okay. I'm not mean, I'm honest. Chill out. Okay, well, there's more dudes we gotta fight. All right, let's try to wee waggle our way to ass kicking. What's this sudden chill down my spine? Here they come, Furball. Those are the monsters that have been plaguing these lands. They sneak into villages and cause all sorts of trouble. Okay. Step aside, Furball. This is a job for my trusty sword, Dinkomaru. Did you not see me just kick those other dudes' asses? This game. I like it better when you get the rosary beads. Oh, I love the rosary beads. Yeah, I'm trying to use that, but it's not happening. It's just much easier to like beat them up. There's a few different weapons that you can get, and you can kind of like slot your weapons differently. So if I slotted this as a secondary weapon, obviously I only have one weapon right now, but if I slotted this as a secondary weapon, I can use it more as a shield. And like the rosary bead is my main weapon, or like switch it up. It's really cool. The combat's really, really intuitive, and fun. These are like praise buzzles, sure. You get these for like restoring areas or like feeding animals and stuff like that. That kanji is for good luck, fortune, happiness. I think it's sachi in Japanese. Oh, I didn't read that, sorry. Hey, you got yourself some praise. And look, see how that dried up spring began to flow again? That's because ridden an area of monsters restores the god's power to the land. People call it divine intervention. The more you restore the land to its natural beauty, the more praise you'll get. It's a source of your power. Few people believe in gods these days, and that may weaken you, but if you try real hard, your true power just might shine through. But boy, there's sure have been a lot of monsters around lately, and that Mr. Orange you tossed around up on the sacred deck looks like he thinks you're a regular wolf. Seems the gods have grown so weak people can't see them anymore. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Oh, anyway, I'll show you around the village. I have a feeling we're in for an epic adventure. This should be fun, Furball. We got... Oops. Okay, so there's I love this. Oh, I love this part of the game. So there's seeds. Well, why, you little devil, look at this sweet grub you found. Hey, wait, this is animal food. Still, we should save it and give it to animals. Let's use it when we try to approach animals later. Something good might come out of using it the right way. I know gods aren't supposed to use creatures in this manner, but what the heck? Let's make an exception this time. Almost forgot, there was something I wanted to tell you. Whenever you want to check the items you have obtained, just press the plus button and open the fan menu. While the fan menu's open, you can check and use the items you have. There's a lot of hand holding in this game. There's a lot. You can skip it, obviously, at the top. There's other things you can do there too. The fan menu is your key to a successful adventure. The menu is really pretty. Like, look how pretty this menu is. But you use praise to like level up in here. We can see all the different brush strokes that we've gotten. These are just like helpful things. This is a bigger map. You can pull up a mini map over the actual like game and stuff like that. So that's fun. I'm gonna show you what those seeds do though. I think, yeah. So different animals will want different feeds. There's seeds, herbs, fish, meat, and there's lots of different animals that you'll see all around, and they'll want different things. So you'll want to kind of take note of who wants what. Look how pretty this is! Oh, it's so good. Oh, it just looks so good. So you'll get a little bit of a different one for each animal that you feed. There's like horses, boars, obviously there's birds, there's cats, there's dogs, there's all kinds of stuff. And then they give you praise for doing it. And then they have little hearts when they come back because they love you because you fed them. Is that not the cutest thing ever? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll end our gameplay together here because it's been a little over 45 minutes. But it's just, there's so much lore and there's a lot to do in this game. This game is very long, but it's so fun. The gameplay's really fun. Again, I don't really suggest playing it on the Wii unless it's your only way to play it. That's better than nothing. But definitely playing it with like a normal, like even an Xbox controller or I play it with a PS5 controller. This is the way to play it. Oh my gosh, it's so much easier. So highly suggest doing it that way. But there's still a lot that we haven't even seen. Obviously, we're still in the very beginning. We're not even out of the tutorial. So there's a lot to this game. So I really hope you check it out. It's really cool. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this whole time. If it's not obvious, I love this game so much, and I want so many more people to see it and see how much love and time and everything went into this amazing game. If you want me to deep dive into any other parts of it, I would be happy to. Please let me know. Also, if you want me to look at any other Wii games, my Wii collection is huge. I probably have it. Just let me know. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great weekend.